everybody, how are we doing? Oh, everything was set up and now I come live. It's looking a bit funny. Okay, just bear with me. How are we doing? Everybody good? Just some reason looking a bit odd today. Hey, how are we doing? Everybody all right? So, hello, how are we doing, lovely people? Welcome. I'm Joanna, and this is my midday instant body booster. Just 15 minutes of posture, mobility, stretching exercises to enhance our well-being so that we feel a bit brighter for the rest of the day. And all this week, excuse me, I've been teaching a special focus on happy hips and hamstrings. So come on in, make yourself comfortable. Let's take a few minutes to set up. What you're going to need is a chair. You can use a towel. I'm just going to adjust the camera slightly so you can see exactly. There we go. So you're going to need a chair, and also a towel might be useful actually to give a bit of support to your knees if you want, but the rest of the time it's just going to be you and me and your body. I'm wearing soft, comfortable shoes, so if you wear flexible shoes, it will actually really help your practice. So this 15-minute session is just really about opening up tight hip flexors here and also hamstrings, and this session can be particularly beneficial to obviously de-desk our bodies if we've been sitting down a lot and get a lot of compression around this area, and this impacts our posture, but also importantly can impact the quality of our movement patterns, specifically our walking. So if you are concerned about your stride length when you're walking, maybe the smoothness of your movement pattern, and you're perfecting your walkout technique, so you're really trying to walk out of your space to propel yourself forward, this is a really good little session to either do session 1, session 2 or session 3 because they're progressive, to make it a regular part of your practice, okay? And you will notice that it will actually help you lengthen your stride because you'll actually get more emphasis of leaving the foot behind, and that has a huge impact on reducing joint impact on the front knee, in fact both knees, and also the hips, but also really has a direct impact on your posture, so everything links together. So come on in, we're actually going to start on all fours. So if you have your room set up in this context, it works quite well because we're going to use the chair for a little bit of support, okay? So my towel is there if I actually want to use it, and you may want to use your towel if you want to put a little bit of extra cushioning underneath your knees, all right? So let's begin. Let's start making ourselves nice and comfortable, and I'm actually just going to come onto all fours. So just start off by getting yourself set up, and I really would like you to pay a bit of attention about how we move into and out of our positions just as much as when we're in the positions, if that's okay. So in this point here, just check that your shoulders are over your wrists and your knees are underneath your hips. Just shift your weight just a little bit from side to side. Just set yourself up. And from here, we're just going to draw a few circles with our upper body. So think about our shoulders being one unit. Just come forward a bit and then just ease back. Just gently, just putting a little bit of movement. Whatever's been happening in your body so far today, just allow the breath to be smooth. And remember, these sessions are meant to be gentle, nothing too intrusive. When you feel comfortable changing the side, lovely people, and almost kind of exploratory sessions. So we're approaching our body with respect, with grace, and just easing into range of motion, maybe tightening out or easing out any tight muscles that we have, and just saying hello body, so we feel re-energized and revitalized, and to help tap into the correct movement quality. So just move your shift your weight from side to side a little bit here, okay? And then from here we'll just do a couple of cat cows because I really want us to focus here today on the lower spine, specifically the pelvis. So as we do this, just start to think about having a piece of string on your tailbone and tilting your tailbone out. And as you get that movement coming here from the pelvis, then think about the breastbone coming forward and the crown of the head being long. So the movement's really coming much more from the lower part of the spine. And then from here, as we're going to reverse it, start here from the pelvis. So tuck that tailbone under and then let it have a lovely, glorious ripple all the way through the spine. See how that feels for you today. Feel a bit of a stretch maybe across the shoulders. Take a big deep breath in, and let's do that again. And we're going to start by, again, initiating it here in the pelvis. So get the length in that lower part of the spine. Try to visualize that part initiating and completing the movement as well. And one more time, so tuck tailbone under. Sometimes it's scary, it can get really stiff, especially if you've been sitting down for a while. Okay, good job. And then come to a nice level position. So a good analogy is to imagine that you're a coffee table and you want to put maybe down a tray of drinks on your back and look down between your two thumbs, draw one knee in towards your nose. So really hold it for a moment so you feel that you're pressing away from the earth and you're drawing that knee as high as you can to your nose, and that foot is going to come down between your two feet, between your two thumbs. So just press that foot forward a little bit. Now I like to just extend this foot back a bit, and this is where you may want to just have your towel and put it underneath the back knee. Check your setup. Now, here is where you want to just rest your hands on your chair. See how that feels. Now, you want to be square to your chair, and you want to have a midline of your kneecap over your second toe. That will help with your tracking. So you may want to adjust your foot position slightly. You may just want to sort of adjust your knee, but feel how you have a little bit of a stretch here on this back hip flexor. Be open with your body. Hands are resting lightly on the chair, and the more you ease the body weight forward, the more you'll feel the stretch on the hip flexor. So just be gentle with your body. See how that feels today. Everybody has their own story that we bring to these sessions, so just breathe in. And then from here, what I want you to do is push your bottom back. So you're going to push the bottom back so this starts to straighten. And this is important because we want to get more of a stretch here behind the knee. This can get very tight with our hamstrings. Fingertips just resting lightly on the chair. See how that feels. Now, just take a moment here, people. Breathe into this and think about pushing the bottom back and lifting it up. It's those small changes that actually get into this stretch area here rather than being lower with the upper body. So take a deep breath in. And then we're just going to ease forward. So just a nice gentle movement, moving into the position and out. Again, check your setup, nice and tall with the body. If this feels really easy and think, wow, take the foot further back to progress it, or extend the arms up and extend, really feel a stretch through the fingertips. See how that feels. Bring the hands down, and then we're going to slowly extend it back again. Just nice and gently, nothing too fast, just being respectful. Breathe in and then come forward. And very often we neglect maybe the quality of our movement patterns. Sometimes we chase the quantity of what we're doing rather than the quality. So maybe think about that concept in today's little session with me today. Think about how beautifully and how well you can execute each part of the movement. So we're thinking about how we get into the movement just as much as actually the end position. And then from here, gorgeous people, come forward. Okay, bring the hands, if you can, down to the floor. I like to bridge my fingertips, and this foot is going to come back and join that foot. Okay, so just come back, wriggle the hips off again, see how that feels, just release any tension. And then we're going to repeat that on the other side. So bring that knee into your nose, really nice and tight. Tuck that tailbone under. So visualize the distance between the two thumbs. That's where that foot's going to go. So bring it forward and take a moment, set the thing up. Now just adjust this back foot so you feel a stretch on the hip flexor. It should be an ooh, not an ow. Rest the hands on the chair. So you might want to adjust the position of the chair. Maybe if you put a few more books on it if you want. This is your session, your workout. So you can apply the tools that make this feel really effective for you. Check your setup. Take a deep breath in. Good job. And then you're going to ease the hips back. So think about hips back rather than I've got to straighten this leg. So the leg straightens as a consequence of us pushing the bottom back. Maybe you feel a bit of a stretch here up behind the knee. This can get particularly tight if we're sitting at a desk a lot. Lift the tailbone up, breathe into it. And the hands just lightly on the chair, leaning forward through and lengthening through the crown of the head. And then ease forward. So just press forward gently. And then ease back again. How are you doing today? Is that all right? Nice and gently. So it's the end of the week if you're joining me live. If you're on catch up wherever you're on the world, I hope you're good. Just take this nice and steadily. So just press into it. This is our last one. And we're going to come back. Just imagine you're lifting that tailbone up, because that tiny bit of extra lift of the pelvis just really gets into these tight areas at the back of the hamstrings. And then from here, bring the hands down, bridge your fingertips again, all right? And again, if you feel that you need a bit of extra height, you can put a block here or a couple of thick dictionaries or some yoga mats. if you need a bit of extra height, such as that, okay? And we're going to bring this knee back to join the other knee. So from here, just wriggle, wriggle, wriggle. Now, tuck the toes together. So you've got big toes touching. Take those knees apart and just walk the hands down your mat and push the bottom back. If you're a bit sensitive on the knees, keep the distance between the thigh bones and the calf muscles and keep the hips high. But we're going to press the hips back, visualizing where the big toes are together. We're pushing that pelvis back towards your big toes, and we're going to do these little emoji smile stretches. So the forehead can rest down. If you want a little bit extra height, potato fist, and we're just going to push the hip over to one side, bring the hips back towards the big toe, and then just take the hips slightly to the other side. So it's not a big movement, it's just with the pelvis. If you can visualize that, you're just making little emoji smiles. So the hips come to one side, a little bit of movement back towards the big toes, and then to the other side. So these emoji smiles are just brilliant to just get a little bit of lightness maybe into the pelvis area, which can get quite tight and restricted if we're sitting down quite a bit. And this will help with our stride length. This will help with our ease of movement. This also helps actually if you've got a stiff, tight lower back. So come to a point of stillness here, gorgeous people. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. We're starting the session nice and gently, and spread the fingertips and draw them back. Press into your hands so you take any pressure off the neck. Bring the knees together. And then from here, I want you to tuck the toes underneath you, push your weight back, and slowly walk your feet in with your hands. Okay, generous bend the knees, and we're going to find ourselves in a forward hanging bend. So a couple of things to think about. Have the weight in the heels, generous bend, so you feel maybe a little bit of a stretch, depending on how you feel today. So bridge your fingers. Again, you can have some light here, or you can be on your chair and just try to straighten and explore. Be a bit curious. So we feel a bit of a stretch here. Bridge the fingertips, and then from here, just start to, from forward hanging bend, relax the head down. I'd like you to imagine that you are polishing that glass of window behind your butt cheeks. So one leg is going to be straight, one leg is going to be bent. Take a deep breath in, and then ease at the other side. So this can be quite deceptive about how you get into this area, okay? So think about lifting the tailbone up the whole time. The picture that I quite like to draw or imagine in my head is a duck's bottom. So I'm sticking my bottom out like a duck, and that really helps get into the tight insertions and origins of this muscles here, which can get quite tight. Now, when you feel comfortable, lovely people, come to a stationary position, bend the knees generously, weight in the heel pad, and you're just going to come up nice and gently, okay, to a standing position. Take a moment here, okay, just wriggle through the feet. And what I'd like you to do is take a step forward, all right, so you're closer to your chest, so you can use that for balance if you want, and you're going to put 1 foot forward. Now, place the toes down. So the toes are down, so we're getting a bit of a stretch over the front of the ankle joint, and this is a standing hip flexor stretch. Supporting knees slightly bent, lift up tall, press those hips forward, but think about length from that knee here all the way through the hip and through the body. If you're familiar with my WalkActive Global Greeting, you put your thumb into your ribs, little finger to your hip bone, and get the length, okay? And just think about pressing from the hip and the knee as one unit coming forward so you feel that stretch. If you want to increase it, take the foot further back, press it further forward, but make sure you're not arching back, keep the spine straight, okay? See how that feels? Breathe in, and then from here, put that foot back down. You're going to place the heel down, and now this back leg is going to bend. Stay a little bit closer to begin with so you feel steady. Square to the chair and push your bottom back. So we're going to go into hamstring stretch for the front leg. The common mistake that often we can do here is think I'm going to get my chest down to this thigh. Now, before we go anywhere, think about bottom back, square with my chest, global greeting here, so I've got my length, and I'm actually just going to close the angle slightly as I'm pushing my bottom back. And you'll feel that that's actually quite quickly, you start to get a stretch on the hamstrings. So I'm going to put any pressure on the back, and you keep your length here between the ribs and the hips. Take a deep breath in. So you feel a stretch maybe towards the hip, maybe you may feel a little bit over the knee. That's depending on where you have that particular restriction. Take a deep breath in, bend both knees for me, and come up. Okay, good job. Take the feet together and we're going to roll down again. So give me that knee bend and tuck the tailbone under, chin comes under, and then we're just going to slowly roll the hands down. So we just get that little bit of a hanging bend again. Hands can be here on the chair if you want, and just polish that glass. See how that feels on the first one. Maybe you feel a little bit more movement on one side than the other because we've still got to do the other side. Take a deep breath in. Be curious, kind of be nice to yourself. Think this is good. And then heavy in the tailbone and slowly, slowly come up all that way to a delicious standing position again. Okay, let's do the other side. So I'm going to take the other foot back, rest the toes down. Just find that position that feels good for you. If you want to hold on to your chair for balance or something else, please do lift up. Press the toes forward. So you may be thinking, wow, I'm not used to actually being in this position with my back foot. Really great to open and put mobility in the foot. So important for the strength of the foot, for your balance, for your posture. Everything you happen with your spine happens from your feet. Lift up. So one unit, knee, hip, press forward. Little bit of, oh, hello, hip flexors. How are we doing today? So these are the muscles that can get really tight from sitting down. If those feel super deep but easy, swing the arms forward and back. If you actually want to bring a little bit of an upper back or upper chest stretch, just lift up the arms, take a deep breath in, ease that whole area as one unit forward, and then bring that foot out, come into the next position nice and steadily. So I quite like to bring my foot in a little bit so I feel more stable. Now lift up, so I've got that length. We're going to start to straighten the front leg, okay? And I'm going to push my bottom back almost on a slight diagonal. So the torso stays high. I'm square to my chair with my chest, with my belly button, and I'm lifting and pressing back as opposed to coming forward like that. So that's a really important thing. So take time to push the bottom back, and you get a really great, super effective hamstring stretch without too much pressure on your back. And of course, you can use that here on your chair. Okay, how does that feel? On this supporting knee, check you've got weight more in the heel pad rather than coming forward on that knee. Big breath in, keep energizing that bottom back. How's that for you today? And then you're going to bend your knees, come forward, bring that foot forward, and then just do that roll down again. So bend your knees, tuck your tailbone under, and you're just going to roll down. Ease, 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 ease. Good job. Find your position, and then have a generous bend the knees, gently ease from one side to the other. See how that feels. Does that feel a little bit better than when we started? Take a deep breath in, heavy in the tailbone. Check there's not too much communication happening between your belly and your thighs here. Weight in your heel pad here, lovely people. And you're just going to roll up. Take your time. There's no rush. Just breathe in. And then as you breathe out, just roll the shoulders a couple of times at the top. And we're going to come for the last little bit to sit on our chair. So you can put your mat away. And I'm going to show you sideways, but whatever feels comfortable for you today. So sit up nice and tall. Think about your global breathing, so you're lifting up out of your hips. So if you want any extra help about that, you can have a look at my abj tutorial, which is part of my whole WalkActive system, which is here on the YouTube channel. So I'll put it here on my thumb, little thing. Keep that length. So the internal obliques have that length here. Now take that one leg out. So stretch that one out. We're going to do the same mimicking with the spine. So lift the arms up, get the length, and I'm going to reach forward, forward, forward with the body. So I'm not coming down here. I'm actually reaching as far forward as I can, keeping the distance here. So this is when you start to feel a bit of a stretch on the hamstrings. And then come to the point where you feel like, oh, that feels okay. And you're just going to gently rest the hands down on the shin or your thigh or whatever feels comfortable for you. Couple of things to be thinking about, lovely people. You're reaching out over your head. You're pushing back with your butt cheek, which stays on that chair, and you are square. So you're open with the torso. Keep the abdominals long. Take a deep breath in, and you may feel it a little bit here, or you may feel it more in the belly or more hip. That will just be telling you where maybe you're a little bit shorter, and that's okay. Don't judge. Just breathe into that area. And then you're going to lift up, keep those abdominals long. You're going to draw yourself up, take that leg in, and do the same on the other side. So take that one out, lift up nice and tall, and you're going to pivot from the hips. So here you are with your global breathing, nice and steady. Keep this upper body square. So you're being really respectful to how your body moves, nice and gently. Press that bottom back. This is really a great area to stretch. Obviously, if you're sitting down quite a lot, but if you also want to improve your stride with WalkActive, so your stride becomes longer as a consequence of being able to leave the foot behind you. So it will really improve your WalkActive and your stride technique if you come back and make this part of your regular practice. Take a deep breath in, heavy in the tailbone, press forward, and then ease up nice and gently. Bring that foot in. Last little stretch, just wriggle the feet. Now from here, you're going to lift one foot up and you're going to rest it on the other knee. So from the front, it looks like this. Okay, now check that you actually have your front foot underneath your knee so you feel nice and square. I'm square with my body. Depending on how much movement you have in the hip, you may find that your knee position looks a bit more like that. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Just go to what feels comfortable for you, and we're going to get that nice feeling coming forward again. So I'm square to you, have parallel, nice parallel shoulders, open with my global greeting, and I'm actually going to lean and pivot from the pelvis. So just come to a position, it's quite deceptive. From the side, it's going to look like this, lovely people. So I'm lifting up and out. I'm reducing the angle between my thigh and my belly. But you're rather than scrunching around, so keep that length here. And this will actually give you more control in the abdominals, improvement in your posture, and you'll feel that stretch here. And this can be quite deceptive. You don't need to come very far to feel it. One hand on your ankle, one hand on your knee. Take a deep breath in. And then come back. Then you're going to cradle your legs out of this position. So take your hands, cradle them underneath. So this is how it's important to get in and out of position. Lift the thigh up and bring it back down. Just walk through the feet. I'm just going to do the last one. So bring that foot up, cross it over the ankle. See how that feels. Maybe there's a difference from one side to the other. Check that you're nice and tall. Come back with your global greeting. Open with your torso. Let the breath come in. One hand on the ankle, one hand on the knee, lifting up. And remember, we're pivoting from the hip. So I'm open with the torso. Ease forward a little bit. And you may just feel like, oh, hello, outer hip. How's that feeling? Just nourishing that area. Nothing too strenuous, just nice, respectful, gracious movement with our bodies. Breathe in and breathe out. Good job. And then when you feel comfortable, keep that distance between the ribs and the hips. Cradle the hands, get ready, put them underneath, lift that leg up, and then gently and respectfully lower it down. Walk through the feet. And there you go, lovely people. You are all done with your happy hips and hamstrings. Thank you so much. We're going to finish the session as we always do with the arms out to the side. So have a big, ready, reach, hug it in. So just give yourself a good grip of your shoulder blades. Let the chin come down. Corners of the mouth, very important, they rise up. And breathe in. And breathe out. And this is a session that's really good to come back and repeat. It's quite deceptive. There's lots of individual bits here that you can use and take into your outside WalkActive practice as well. Wrap the hands around, long through the spine, chin comes down. Just feel a bit of a stretch in the upper back. Take a deep breath in, and I invite you to send our love around the world. After the count of 3, are we ready? 3 and 2 and 1. It's gone. Thank you so much for joining me today, everybody. I really appreciated you rocking up for my live session. And if you're on catch up, wherever you are in the world, I hope you are well. I hope you're happy and look after yourself and enjoy your WalkActive. Come back and revisit this session. This is session 3 of my Happy Hips and Hamstrings. And it's really about opening up this area. Super gentle, super effective, but will really enhance your posture as well. So leave me a message below. Let me know how you get on. And I really look forward to you joining me for my next block of instant body boosters, which are going to be at midday to de-desk our bodies. Enjoy your WalkActive. Bye-bye. Thank you, everybody, for coming. How you doing? I hope you're really well. Thank you, Debbie. Take good care, lovely people. I will see you soon. I'm just going to edit this now and then I'll put it there. Take good care. Bye-bye.